Hello, and welcome to Disciplines and Ideas in the Applied Social Sciences. I am Armin Rose, and I will be your guide as we go through the concepts of this course. This is Part 6, The Social Work Professional. In June 1965, the 13th Congress approved Republic Act 4373, otherwise known as the Magna Carta for Social Workers, thus publicly recognizing social work as a profession. The law prescribes that only social work degree holders and licensed social workers can practice social work. Social work as a profession has evolved over time, but its enduring feature as a helping profession is the dual aims of helping individuals fit better into their environments, typically known as micro-practice, and changing the environment so that it works better for individuals, referred to as macro-practice. The social worker has different roles depending on the context with which they are working. The first context is for individuals and families, wherein they play three roles: as enabler for helping people with solutions, as a broker or advocate in case management, and as a teacher in terms of information processing. When working with informal groups and organization, a social work is a facilitator in aid of organizational development, a convener or mediator in aid of creating networks, and a trainer for professional development. When working for the community and society, a social work has the roles of planner for facilitating research and planning, activist in aid of social action, and outreach in aid of community education. The roles within the profession include colleague and monitor in aid of professional enculturation and socialization, catalyst for community service, and researcher scholars in aid of knowledge development and capacity building. The social worker has three main roles. The first is case management, second, direct practice, and third, an advocacy and policy building. The functions of social work: to counsel individuals, facilitate groups, work with families, refine agency procedures, initiate new programs, lobby for legislative changes, organize community action, educate the public, conduct needs assessments, and evaluate practice and programs at various system levels and targets of change or social transformation. Enhance social functioning of individuals, families, groups, organizations, and communities. Link client systems with needed resources. Improve the operations of the social service delivery network. Promote social justice through development of social policy. The three main functions of social welfare services are consultancy, resource management, and education. Consultancy refers to the professional activities through which social workers and their clients plan, initiate, and pursue actions towards desired change. Resource management refers to the act of coordinating, systematizing, and integrating resources and services needed to support social functioning, meeting needs, and resolving problems. Education refers to the provision of knowledge and critical information necessary for empowerment practice that facilitates informed decision-making, increased abilities, and gain access to opportunities and resources for a client. The major competencies of social work is first, to think critically, to build and sustain relationships, execute empowering processes, use practical methods, analyze policies, and communicate effectively. Other competencies of social work include strong cultural and intercultural competence, good computer literacy, conducting research, doing social planning, performing crisis intervention, and having sound time management. Competencies of social work specific to the profession include handling of case management with various clients and population groups, performing direct practice depending on the needs of the client and the environment in which they operate, conducting mediations among parties, especially when one is socially disadvantaged, and making referrals to appropriate agencies and service sector needed by the client. Here are some competencies of social work depending on specialization. In the gerontological context, to perform program planning and administration in numerous settings. In the mental health setting, function as case managers, advocates, administrators, therapists, and to use research as basis for problem solving and choice of intervention in empirically based practice. In schools, analyze the transactions between students, teachers, parents, and the school system. In the judiciary, make system more fair and beneficial to both convicted criminals and their victims, and to pursue social change on behalf of vulnerable and oppressed individuals, eliminating economic inequality and poverty. These are competencies generic to all helping professions, including social work. They must have empathy, compassion, confidentiality, a sense of humor, listening skills, and a non-judgmental attitude. Areas of specialization in the social work practice include family and child welfare, health, mental health, corrections, and schools. Career opportunities for social workers are administrator, supervisor, planner, researcher and teacher, child welfare and elderly care centers, hospital, clinics, and community treatment centers, alcohol and drug rehabilitation centers, public housing projects, corporations and labor unions, social planning, and as a community organizer. Other career opportunities for the social worker include the mental health services, the criminal justice and juvenile court services, school-linked services, international practice, political social work, non-profit organizations, non-government organizations, and the government offices. Rights, responsibilities, and accountabilities of a social worker. Social work foremost rights include the right to fulfill its professional mandates and to live by its values. Its responsibilities cover those that pertain to the dispensation of its basic functions, roles, professional standards, and adhere to its local and international codes of ethics. Social work is accountable to its clients, colleagues, employers, professional associations, the general public, the society, and the law. The Code of Ethics of Social Work. Ethical principles are based on the core values of social work. Social workers' primary goal is to help people in need and address social problems. Social workers challenge social injustice. Social workers respect the inherent dignity and worth of the person. Social workers recognize the central importance of human relationships. Social workers behave in a trustworthy manner. Social workers practice within their areas of competence and develop and enhance their professional expertise. Ethical standards are relevant to the professional activities of all social workers. These standards are concerned with the social worker's ethical responsibilities to the client, to colleagues, in practice settings, as professionals, to the social work profession, and to the broader society. Guidelines for professional conduct consist of ethical specifics in the professional conduct of social workers. There are 21 items in the guidelines that reflect the spirit of a code of ethics. These are culled from the Code of Professional Conduct of Ethics for Social Workers, devised by the Social Workers Registration Board, and the Ethics of Social Work Statement of Principles by the International Federation of Social Workers. The ideas presented in this lesson are based on the content standards of the Department of Education and the book Disciplines and Ideas in the Applied Social Sciences by E.M. Sampa, published by Rex Publishing. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lesson.